think you even calmed my mental health because you talk so like just
Right.
calm and just so
Mellow.
nice. Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Vegas Variety. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're doing just fine and staying positive as we continue to stay at home for now. And happy Friday. I also have Lonnie and Christine here with me. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi.
Yes, that's right. We have a great show today. We have some things to share. We have a special guest. And like what Anna said, it's Friday. So what better way to start the weekend than to be here with us today?
Right. And that's why. Happy Friday to you all. We have a special guest lined up for you, Sydney, a licensed clinical psychologist, because that's what we're talking about this month, in the month of May. It's Mental Health Awareness Month here in the U.S. So stay with us and you'll get some free tips on how to be able to take care of your mental health.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So, really important for a lot of people. But just a little bit of what's happening here lately in Vegas. So, a little over a week ago, some of the businesses were allowed to open up. It's our pre-phase 1 opening. So, like beauty salons have opened, and I actually went today. Got my haircut, got my hair colored, and
It looks good.
It felt so good, you guys. And
Did she wear gloves and a mask?
Yes, I had my mask on because everybody was wearing masks. Hairdresser that did my hair, she was really happy that she's back to work because all she's been doing is cooking and gaining weight. When I was having my she was shampooing my hair and it smelled so good. And I was like, oh, that smells so good. This is my favorite part.
Yeah.
She goes, oh, it's Jackie
I love that.
shampoo. It's really good for your hair. I go, oh, do you have some that you're selling? She goes, yeah. So I'm like, okay, I'll buy a bottle then. So I go and I pay, and then the lady goes, yeah, it's we'll give it to you for $25 a bottle. And I was thinking, it's a little bit more than what I would want to spend per bottle.
Yeah.
Oh, like a shampoo bottle.
Oh, whoa.
Milk jug.
That is like quarantine style.
Like, is that
A
only
gallon of
conditioner?
shampoo and conditioner.
Oh, shampoo and
$5.
conditioner. Yeah.
So when I turned around, she goes, "Oh, there's your shampoo and conditioner." I was like, "Oh, okay." What about you guys?
All right.
What have you been up to?
Christine. I was
I'm
like,
al- I'm always the one that doesn't like to share first. I'm shy. I like to, be last. So anyways, this week, the only really big exciting thing was it was my husband's birthday. It was JR's birthday this Thursday. So we had a little
happy birthday, JR.
at home. We had an at-home celebration. Simple. I mean, what else can we do? We just ordered food delivered, and I made a cheesecake, peanut butter cheesecake. So it was fun. It was good.
Nice. You didn't do because nowadays I'm sure you see it too. Social media, they have all these virtual birthday parties.
No, we're kind of
Remember,
just
she's
do
the homebody. Yeah.
yeah.
But this is virtual. She didn't have to go anywhere.
Right.
How about
But
you,
I
Lonnie?
think-
What'd you do?
I think these birthdays are definitely memorable. I mean, a quarantine birthday, who would have known, right?
Yeah,
But for
people-
my week has actually been a roller coaster for me. I was actually going through some medical issues, non-COVID medical issues, thankfully. But I actually had to go to the ER and was admitted to the hospital. So it was kind of a little scary during these times, of course. And they took care of me, and I was in and out of there within a day. So feel good. I'm back to recovery. So
I'm glad you're feeling better, but how was that though? Like when you had to go and they told you that you actually had to stay. I mean, what was going through your mind?
yes, first of all, I was actually terrified. My primary doctor said, yeah, you got to go to the ER. My whole fear of, COVID is, I'm all thinking, but I felt safe after a while, after I calmed myself down. And then just kind of, just understanding, okay, I'm here to get better, and it's not for COVID, and everybody was keeping their social distancing. So I felt safe.
Well, thank God you're okay. Thank God.
I know.
Yes.
Well, you seem
Thank
okay.
you.
Okay. So speaking about our week, we got some nice, fun comments from some viewers. So let's go over that. First of all, thank you to everybody who's been watching, who's been sharing the show. We appreciate you being with us. We hope that we're bringing value to you and to your day. So someone that we want to shout out is Abigail Manalo for sharing that she puts on makeup and fixes her hair even when she's not going anywhere. And I know you guys probably know this about me, but even though I'm a stay-at-home mom, every morning I get ready. I put on makeup, I put on my clothes, so that way I feel like I'm going to work. I feel productive. So Abigail, I get you. And then also to Juju on the Beat says, thank you for having Angel on the show. So last episode was about self-care and self-love, and we had Angel on the show. And then last is from Eileen Opido Peria, who happens to be my husband's cousin, all the way from Edmonton, Canada. She wishes everyone to keep safe. So thank you, everybody.
That's right. We always welcome your comments and we appreciate it. So, what better time to increase our mental health awareness than now? Studies show previous to the pandemic that 1 out of 5 people will experience some form of depression in their lifetime. So we have Sydney here with us, who is a licensed clinical psychologist, who's going to talk more about how people can better cope with all of this right now. Hi, Sydney. Thank you for being with us today.
Hello. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Sydney, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do, and a little bit about your family too.
So I am a licensed clinical psychologist. Right now I work with the County of Santa Clara. My background is working with individuals with substance abuse issues and chronic mental illness. I am a mother of one. She is 20 months old, so a little toddler, walking and kind of talking, and that's the family for right now. And my husband.
So you have your
I like that she said that, and my husband, because after a child, especially right now, she's barely 2, right? I mean, you notice probably people ask when they see you, they greet her before they ask how you or your husband is doing. So I totally get it.
Right. She's the main person right now. For now.
The star of the attraction. Yes. So Sydney, so with family quarantine, how has that actually been affecting you guys, your own mental health?
I will be honest and say it has been challenging. So my husband and I are now working from home, the both of us, and I feel like the adjustment was just so fast. We went from going into our offices and now both of us working from home and taking care of our daughter full time. Usually everything is very compartmentalized. We have our work life, our home life, our church life, our personal lives, and now everything is all at the same time, and it can get overwhelming.
So as far as mental health, I know some people, to some people, it might, that word and that genre can sound scary. What is it to you, being a psychologist? What could you say to our viewers? What is mental health?
Mental health, I would say, is it's something everyone has. It's something that dictates our behaviors, our feelings, our thoughts, and all of these things, they interact with how we are in relationships, how we work productively, how we cope with stress, how we feel, how we, I guess, behave on a daily basis. Then we have mental disorders where maybe if we're not taking care of our mental health, that's maybe a direction that we might go. And I think that's where a lot of the stigma is when we think of mental health. Does that make sense?
I agree. And I love how you described it, that mental health, exactly. Because I think in people's minds, people think mental health is or are the disorders. They don't think mental health is how you think, how you function, how you love, right? It's everything.
So with mental health, right now being in we're all in a stay-at-home order. How is being in isolation, you know, affect our mental health?
I feel like isolation can be a good and bad thing, right? To be able to step away from distractions that we've had with when we were not in quarantine. I think that can help our mental health. Maybe if we're able to step back and have this time to reflect, this time of isolation can be a positive thing. Of course, there is the negative piece. Now we don't have our usual outlets, our social outlets, self care outlets that we have, and that can impact us. Humans are naturally social creatures, and we benefit from being able to be around each other, to be able to communicate with one another.
As we go forward now, as things progress and hopefully things loosen up and we're able to go out, and what can you foresee? There will be a different set of challenges or just challenges in general?
I would think so. I think even though we're getting closer to a new normal, right? I think there's still so much uncertainty there. And I think with a lot of unknowns still out there, there's still going to be maybe a lot of anxiety. There's not a lot of structure yet.
So mental health is, considered a taboo for some cultures. So how can we take stand and break away from that taboo?
That's a great thing that you're bringing up. I work as a mental health advocate within the Filipino community, and it is, a challenging conversation to have. And I think I see this even in the general public too. Mental health is a serious thing, but I think sometimes it gets too serious and people just tune it out. But if it's, part of the conversation and it's casual, and I think it makes it a little bit easier.
Sydney, I like that you mentioned you are a mental health advocate for the Filipino community. So I can imagine, just providing education to them, as you've mentioned, probably with help, right?
I do help out with the Felix Y. Manalo Foundation as a volunteer. I have a booth that has just information about the common mental health disorders. We talk about stress management and also how our mental health can affect our physical health. I know that's, a big piece too, like high blood pressure, diabetes. You kind of have to think of mental health as the same thing. Like you have to be able to do, different life, positive lifestyle changes.
So in line with education too, I mean, as mothers, we're all mothers here. You have a little one. What will matter after all this is the mental health of our children.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that as far as, educating them? How do we tell them what's going on in the world right now?
Yeah, that's a tough one because we're, as parents, we're going through it as they're going through it, right? And so we're still kind of trying to figure things out as the pandemic continues. But it is important to keep that in mind because we are role models of how we take care of ourselves, and they're learning themselves of how to take care of their own mental health from us.
I love that you said we should be modeling caring for our mental health. So now that we're all at home, how can we take care of our mental health?
I'm just thinking about an episode from Vegas Variety just recently, the self-care, right? To be able to show yourself some self-love during this time when it's very, very trying, very, very stressful. I think a big piece to be able to take care of ourselves is understanding what our triggers are, to understand kind of when we're feeling overwhelmed, again with anxiety, depression, stress. There are physical manifestations, right? Some people get stomach aches, some people get headaches, some people have what we call rumination, where our minds are going 100 miles per minute, like a hamster in a hamster wheel. So if we're able to kind of maybe create a list for ourselves of like what are our red flags or what are our triggers,
Mm, I love that.
But what if
Yeah.
someone's kind of like over that? How does somebody reach out to have professional help?
So when it feels like, self-care is not enough, where I would start off is, if you're connected with your primary care physician, I'd bring it up to them. A thing that I do want to bring up too is that finding a therapist, finding a psychologist, finding a provider that you're working with is a personal process. I think if you start off with therapy and it feels like it doesn't totally click or might not be so as effective as you'd hope, I think, it doesn't mean that therapy doesn't work for you. I think it's definitely finding that therapist that you're able to feel comfortable with.
Good to know.
It's
Thanks.
really important to feel to have that trust, especially with someone that you're gonna bare your soul to, right?
Absolutely.
It has to feel right.
How do you, because you mentioned about, that you deal with patients with mental disorders and that, how do you step away from that, like leave that at the office, so to say, and then go back to being the happy, cheery mom and wife, to your family? How do you cope with that or handle that?
Well, I think it's experience because it was tough, I would say, for the first 2 or 3 years of not taking all of that home. But I think you start to have a routine of shutting everything down at work, like literally, like I just have a whole
Right.
routine. I'm just thinking again about the self-love episode, setting a boundary with myself and
Wow.
not, having that
How much did
conversation with my husband.
how much did Christine pay you to say that?
No, we have a natural grower here.
Oh, that's
What does Darwin do?
Yeah, what
Maybe
does your husband do? Yeah.
He's a biomed engineer.
oh wow.
I wouldn't even know what to
Yeah.
ask him.
I know. Me too.
What does that do?
So is he talking about like vaccine and stuff like that?
Oh, really?
Well, so he's the manager of his biomed engineer team, and so they take care of all the machinery in the hospitals. So for the COVID, he helped purchase the ventilators and all the different kinds of machinery they needed.
Do you have him like when he comes home, you're like, okay, go take everything
Oh
off?
yeah. He has to like undress like at the door and then like go straight to the shower.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
You gave us so much information today, helpful information. You've explained what mental health is. You even gave us some tips on how to approach it with others, as well as how to care for our own mental health. So how about you? After this is all over and we go back to whatever the new normal might be, what are you most looking forward to doing?
That's my favorite question. It's, we want to do a staycation. Usually we've been trying to do this. I mean, my first Mother's Day was last year, so we were trying to do an annual staycation at Monterey Bay to go to the aquarium. And so hopefully once the shelter in place is lifted, we can hopefully be able to go out, go to the aquarium, and have a little bit of fun.
We love Monterey. We used to live in Northern California also. Oh my gosh, Monterey was our staycation place every year. Thank you again for being with us. But before we go, would you like to give a shout out to anybody who might be watching?
I guess shout out to my husband Darwin. He's the one who set up my my conference call here. And thank you for all the love and the support and being such a great papa to our daughter Isabella.
Oh, that's
So
sweet.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sydney, for
Thank
taking the
you.
time to be with us.
Thank you for
Yes.
having me.
Take care, Sydney.
Okay, since we're talking about mental health, we actually reached out to some people, and here's what they had to say.
Initially, when we started going out before the whole face covering thing, and when it first came out and everyone was panicking and hoarding and things like that, that really freaked me out. It messes with you mentally because it feels like the world is ending.
So this pandemic has affected me in many ways, more so good than bad. On the negative side to things, I'm a little bit more anxious than usual, just because you're watching the news and social media, and it gets a little bit overwhelming to handle. But on the bright side to things, I've learned to slow down a little bit and take time to focus on myself and practicing self-care and self-love and just choosing to stay positive.
Unfortunately, I got laid off, so that wasn't fun. But in a positive note, I'm not stressed about the job anymore, so I have the mentality of just being free. House is clean.
When the pandemic started, when I first saw people walking around in personal protective equipment, it did initially make me fearful for that person, thinking they had the virus or they knew of somebody having the virus. But now that I see as the weeks go by, I know this is probably our new normal, so it doesn't make me nervous as much anymore, but when the virus still first hit, it made me very anxious.
I try to go out, get fresh air, just take walks around the block to just help me clear my mind.
Being able to keep my mind busy and not wander too far off into the dark side has been able to help me stay focused on what I can control.
It's weird nowadays, when I have to go out and do the grocery shopping. Everyone's wearing their face coverings, and it's very impersonal talking to someone behind plexiglass and wearing a mask. So I kind of feel like the invisible man or something when I go out, and there's a lot of paranoia. So it's important to wear your face coverings and practice social distancing, staying 6 feet apart, just to be safe and also give others peace of mind, I guess.
What I'm hoping to do in the future is to be able to hug people again, to see people, and to just have a more positive outlook on life.
When we go out to do grocery shopping, which is pretty much the only reason why we go out, and we see that stores are using the plexiglass and masks and gloves, we appreciate it. I mean, that I guess is the new norm, but we do appreciate it. It makes us feel like they're taking this seriously and doing their part to keep the public safe.
To help myself, I feel less stressed and less isolated. I connected more with friends online. I listen to their stories about life. Working in other countries, we uplifted and advised each other.
What I try to do to help myself, I got like really cute masks so that I don't feel so bad, having to wear it. And then I have like ways to look cute when I when I have to go out and put a mask on. So that's one thing, and so I don't mind it at all. Like I find it different challenges. Different, like an adventure. It's like at the movies, so just look at it that way. And yeah, cute mask.
Us personally, we're very blessed because I still have a job. I did lose one of my jobs when I was due to the COVID-19, but praise be to God that I still have a job that I can work and then still have the resources to go on our daily living.
Bad anxiety, but that's one thing I definitely had a hard time with in the beginning, is having to worship here at home, where you do everything you can to make it as solemn as possible, but you're still at home. So that's definitely something I'm looking forward to when everything goes back to normal. And that's it.
It's always great to see other people's perspective and to see just what other people are thinking, besides, what our own thoughts are or what your immediate family is thinking. So that was a nice look into that. And now, because we love to leave you all with a little special positivity, let's go into our gifts to you. So for today, I have this book that I've been reading. I'm going to show it to you guys, see if you guys can see it. It's called When Less Becomes More by Emily Lee, or Lay, I think is how you say it. And I love this book because it fits this time. It's about eliminating the excess in your life, and not just material possessions. Even, I know last time we talked about like eliminating your obligations. It even talks about eliminating certain thoughts, and it's just a really great book to just bring everything down to what really matters, and that way you have a more fulfilling and actually a more full life. So check it out if you have the chance to read. It's called When Less Becomes More.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to read that book. Okay, so I'll go next. My gift to you, it's actually was a gift to me. For Mother's Day, my friend Lonnie, she lives in Long Beach, California, and she has a little one. Cameron Hope is her name, and she had her daughter make Mother's Day cards for all the aunties.
Aww.
Like fingerprint, like her finger paint, her hand marks on it.
That's adorable.
This is like, when was the last time you received a letter in the mail? And actually,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. And actually your gift is actually just sharing that to us. That's joyful, you know?
That's my gift.
Oh, wow. That's sweet. For our viewers, my gift to all of you will be to just really take care of our physical well-being, continue to try to stay healthy, eat healthy, get your exercise, take your vitamins, okay, see your doctor if needed.
I love that. That's good.
And Lonnie will listen to her tip and advice for next time.
Yes, I have to practice what I preach.
Thank you, Lon. Well, that's a good reminder to us all, too, to listen to our bodies, what it's telling us. Okay, well, before we go, we invite you to watch EBC 52nd Anniversary Online Concert Series for a cause. Enjoy music beyond the crisis.
It's dedicated to the frontliners and healthcare workers and the communities that are affected by COVID-19, especially in the Philippines.
And EBC's beneficiary is the very reputable FYM, Felix Y. Manalo Medical Foundation.
Airing again on Net 25 in the Philippines and on Facebook and YouTube this coming weekend. So look out for the actual date and time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for that. Yeah, because there's so much talent for that.
Well, thank you for joining us in this episode and allowing us to fill your day with variety and a little bit of Vegas hospitality. We'll see you again next time. Take care.
Bye.
Take care. Be safe, everyone.
Be safe.
Guys, one of my eyelashes fell off.
I told you it was going to happen. I told you.
Oh my God. I was like,
what part?
Before we got on. So I was just like, I only have one on right now.
What are you doing earlier? I see you starting with it. I'm like,
right? I was like, okay, should I put it back on? I felt it like come up. It wasn't sticking. So I was like, forget it. Just take it off.